For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living has been dedicated to creating an award-winning company culture so residents and families receive best-in-class services. Across our 50 communities, Brightview associates help deliver peace of mind, safety, security, transportation, daily programs, delicious food, and high-quality care if needed. Discover how our vibrant senior living communities can help you live your best life. Visit brightviewseniorliving.com to learn more. Equal housing opportunity.
Nissan's SUVs have the capabilities to transform your spirit of adventure into real-life adventure. Don't worry, the Nissan Rogue has your back. Plaid's exclusive Google built-in is your always-updating assistant to call on for almost anything. Just climb in and go. No need to connect your phone. Google Assistant, Google Maps, and Google Play Store are built right into the 12.3-inch HD touchscreen infotainment system of the new 2024 Nissan Rogue. A Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada can elevate your adventure. Get in a Nissan SUV and go. Learn more at nissanusa.com.
Tired of endless diets and weight loss struggles? It's time to say goodbye to frustration and hello to results. Introducing Smart Metabolic Burn from BrainMD, your breakthrough solution to fight stubborn body fat. Imagine burning fat, balancing glucose levels, and regulating metabolism in just 12 weeks. This unique 2-in-1 product combines the power of 2 clinically studied ingredients in one revolutionary formula. Berberine, which targets abdominal fat, and OEA, which curbs your appetite. With just 2 capsules a day, Smart Metabolic Burn by BrainMD can kickstart your metabolism, fight stubborn body fat, especially that pesky abdominal fat, and support your weight management journey. Right now, save over 30% on Smart Metabolic Burn at GetSmartBurn.com. The lowest price anywhere. That's GetSmartBurn.com. Don't delay. Transform your life with Smart Metabolic Burn from BrainMD. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian Austin Green.
I'm Shauna Burgess.
And I'm Randy Spelling.
And you are listening to Oldish, an iHeartRadio podcast. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of Oldish.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. What a crazy week.
Oh, you're in it, Brian.
You're
Tell
in
us
it.
what's
Well,
going on.
I'm in it.
Just your shot right now around you describes it.
You're in your laundry room.
Let's explain these shots. Okay, so Sharna in the living room, stockings behind you. It's very festive looking.
Christmas. Yep. All put together.
Randy, you have that nice calm room that we're used to seeing every week. I am in the laundry room where I have been installing new cabinets, painting them. Our powder room downstairs is being painted. Our kitchen is being painted and redone because we have a holiday party. And one of my presents for Sharna was getting things done that she really wanted and couldn't stand. So
it's so good.
How much is on that list, Sharna?
There's a couple things, but honestly, he's ticked off one of the big, probably the biggest, which was the kitchen. And so he revealed my early Christmas present to me, about a week and a half ago now.
Right. It's been 2 weeks of painting.
Yeah. Suddenly our paint crew was on our front doorstep, the guys that did the rest of our home. And I was like, hi. And Bri was like, it's Merry Christmas, baby. We're doing the kitchen. And it made me emotional because he gets me. It was like every time I walk in that kitchen, I was like, it's like a freaking renovation project. Do you know what I mean?
So the thing is, we moved into this house and we repainted the entire interior of the house, every room except for the kitchen, because the kitchen is a major job. All the cabinets, the walls,
we were doing a different
the ceiling.
color.
There was crown molding in the room that we didn't want in there. There were a bunch of things. And I knew it was going to be the biggest project. Like these painters, when they got in and they did the rest of the house, they could do a room completely from start to finish in a day. So they just sort of like went all the way around the house and did all of that. But I knew the kitchen was going to take a while. So it's been 2 weeks. It was a lot of prepping. They have to sand everything down. They have to take all the hinges and the hardware off the doors. They have to take all the cabinet fronts off. It's a whole big thing.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Here I was like, baby, let's just do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Was
She was like,
totally
we can do it over a weekend. It's like, no. I've tried painting a kitchen before and you lose interest, like, halfway into it. Not even a quarter of the way. A quarter of the way into it, you're like, this is too much. So,
So we have a whole paint crew of like 5 guys here, and we're still in week 2 of it being painted. So I had absolutely no idea of how big of a job it was.
it's a lot,
Yeah.
ripping stuff off of walls. We had a lot of things that then had to be prepped, holes that had to be filled in,
Yeah.
Mhm.
things that had to be sanded and ready to go to look nice. So
But it's unreal, and I will be
amazing.
revealing it on my Instagram for sure because
take some pictures of it
I'm
sure.
so excited to share it. So yeah, but it's really, really cool.
Am I correct in assuming that, Brian, you didn't surprise her with colors? Sharna already
No.
picked that out together.
No, he was like, baby, you choose. You
Yeah,
know
we
what I
have an
mean?
interior decorator, this woman, Mariah O'Brien, who's amazing. And she came over the morning that the painter showed up, and she had her big sort of booklet of paint colors and swatches. And we had talked about some different cabinet colors before. But I really had a sense of like, no, I think something different is going to happen. And it did. And what's funny is we ended up with a color that's very close to a color that Sharna and I had picked out a long time ago when she was talking about painting it. So I left them in the kitchen. I was like, hey, this is, you pick out the colors, you do this stuff. Like, I don't want to be involved in this at all, because otherwise I tend to be a bit more hands-on and a control freak with stuff like that. And I didn't want to, it was Sharna's present.
And Sharna, were you okay with that?
With
Were
what?
you okay with picking in the moment? Like, surprise, painters are here, Merry Christmas. Go in the kitchen and pick a color.
To be fair, when they came in, we had thought we'd already discussed what we were going to do. As Bryce said, something different happened. We thought we were going to go for a black and white kitchen because I love black kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
And as Mariah was standing there and we're holding up these paint samples to, next to our cabinets and the countertops and all the colors that come in with sunlight, and it was like, it doesn't feel right, and I instinctively was just feeling resistance towards saying, yes, let's do it. And so we started to go through other darker colors because Mariah was picking up on the feels, and she pulled out this green and it just felt right instantly. I looked at it. We put it next to these countertops, which previously I couldn't stand the countertops, but now because they're like a marble, or is it marble or granite?
Yeah, they're marble.
Marble, but I didn't like the colors that were in them. And now
they're really dark. They looked black before.
Right. But now with this paint color, this deep, deep green that we've gone, it brings out like beautiful greens in the marble. So it's really amazing. And yeah, I was thrilled. It's the best present he could have gotten me, honestly. Thrilled.
Brian for the win.
Brian for the win.
It's such an oldish thing. Like,
I know, right?
Like,
cabinets,
that's what we're doing. We're repainting and doing cabinets for, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
But that, I mean,
happy holidays.
I'm sure there are plenty of people who would be floored to get new cabinet colors, new paint, because it makes a huge difference. I mean, to go into a room and just place furniture differently, much less you lighten up the walls, or you darken up, or you freshen everything up, and it just has a completely different feel.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's really nice to do these presents for each other. It's for Bry's 50th birthday, it was getting him the tool shed and the things that feel good in the home. And it doesn't mean that sometimes you still want presents that are just items of luxury for fun. I think you balance it out, but it's really cool that we're building this together and with our vision and putting things into our home that we love. And it feels really good. It's a good Christmas so far.
Amazing. I'm laughing to myself thinking about having Nicole Lappin on last time and talking about these things and how all of that fits in, right? Just the whole holiday, because it is so much fun to give and to do for people and to see the reaction. I mean, growing up, that was something that was instilled in me because both my father and my mother were gift givers, and they really went out of their way to find the thing that was going to be the biggest surprise or a big wow factor. So I think, early on, I saw that as a love language, as, oh, you do something that is romantic or something that someone isn't expecting, or they're just going to have this huge reaction. And Yeah, I don't think I ever let that go. There's always that piece of me that wants that, because it's so fun to see someone's face in that moment.
The
I
best.
get that. I love giving gifts. It's not necessarily one of my love languages, but definitely around holiday times. I even put pressure on myself a bit to find the perfect gift for people, and that can be stressful. But because I love seeing them freak out about how much they love it, you know.
Sharna loves getting gifts though, also.
Oh yeah, she loves a gift. Yeah,
She loves a gift.
She has to refer to
She's the
herself in
person.
third
Yeah, yeah.
person because
She-
she
yeah,
likes
yeah.
it so much.
She loves gifts, and she's terrible with surprises. She like, if you try and surprise her, she knows something's coming, she will do everything within her power to figure out what it is that
All
is
the
coming
questions.
her way.
I'm like a
Yeah,
5-year-old.
she's oh, it's it's
Wait.
a nightmare.
In a fun way, or in a sort of anxious, I need to know, you need to tell me, I need to
No,
figure
in a
this out
fun
way?
way.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely not anxious. It's a curiosity. Like I just want to know what it is, but it doesn't stress me out not knowing what it is. It's almost a game to see if I can.
She's
figure
giddy.
out
She's
what
like
it
a little
is,
kid,
you know?
like, that wants to pick up the box and shake it just
Oh,
to
that's
hear
cute.
what's inside of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's sweet.
That's-
super cute.
Yeah.
Well, I ask because I know people who literally hate surprises. They feel in some way attacked by this. I know this sounds funny, but there are some people out there that really, maybe they're very controlling, they need to know, but surprises for them are awful.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's
that.
crazy to me.
Love
I
a
mean,
surprise.
yeah, what does that come from usually?
Yeah,
Is
why
that some
would
sort of like childhood trauma that you hear
where
about?
a surprise went bad? What is that?
I think so. Probably one or all of the above is needing control. And if there's surprise, then maybe they feel they have to react a certain way. Maybe they don't want to
The
not
pressure.
know what's coming, right? So I'd
Mm.
rather know versus not know. And then because surprises, there is a pressure element, right? It's like
Yeah.
the engagement, it's a surprise. And then
Right.
how do you react? Or if someone gets you a gift, how do you react to that? There is an
Right.
element of pressure, like you said, Brian.
Totally.
Interesting.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure with gift giving. I will say that.
Interesting.
And on
Yeah.
the receiving, I've never experienced. Although sometimes, like every now and then, if you ever received a present, you're like, "Oh, it's so great!" Like,
I'm never going to use
oh
this.
my
but
god,
it's
you know. And
amazing.
you certainly. So I feel that if that's a feeling or a situation that creates anxiety for you, I can see how gift giving would be uncomfortable. Because it is awkward if someone gives you something and you don't know what to do with it, or if you like it or not. I'm always just to say thank you because it's the
Right.
thought that counts,
Mhm.
you know. So I think there's always gratitude to be found. But
I think that's a skill that you build throughout life. Like you start
right,
young and you
Yes.
receive things, and you may not like them and you're not sure how to react. And then you start, as you get older, you start realizing like,
How
oh, I
about
just have to
kids? How
to
about-
have gratitude.
how
for
about
this.
kids at Christmas when they haven't
Oh.
learned that yet, and they're
Right.
like, just whatever. No, I don't care. Oh, I'll never use that. Or
What
just
if-
don't
what
look at
Journey,
that.
our 7-year-old,
Yeah,
looks
oh
under
my
the
God.
tree and he'll literally go, okay, so then are more presents going to come? Because like
Yeah.
he's counted
Yeah,
them
yeah.
all and he's found the ones that have his name on them, and there's only 6. And so
Yeah.
he's like, where are there's more coming, right? And it's like,
Yeah, kids.
Right. I had
Dude.
more on my list.
I had more. Yeah,
Right.
this is not
Totally.
everything, and I didn't ask for this.
right.
And then Bodhi got that. It's really
Oh,
and having multiple kids
it's
at
tough.
Christmas. It's
Yeah,
hard, man.
It's tough because they get competitive over what you start counting, like how many gifts have I gotten for this child compared to this one. But like now Noah is older, so the gifts for Noah are way more expensive than they are for Bodhi and Journey. So it's like, okay, your one gift is equal to like 4 of theirs. But then kids
Right.
don't care. They just want to know, like, why did I only get 2? And
Right.
and the other one got 6. It's like, because your 2 were the price of this house. Like that's why.
Right. Yeah. Calm
Wait,
down. You know.
Let me ask you this. Do you have to deal with the fairness? Because I have 2 girls and
Mhm.
they're fairly close in age. They're about a year and a
Mhm.
half apart. And so much of the time, especially younger, they're calculating and keeping score of everything.
To make sure everything is fair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fair is an interesting concept that you learn in life, because when you're young, it's like, oh, fair, it's tit for tat. Like it's very sort of surface and easy. There's not a deep thought that goes into it. So it is fair. Like, oh, if he got 3 gifts, then I want 3 gifts. That's fair. And it's like I said, unless your gifts were 3 times as much money as the gifts that the other kid wanted, then it's, that how do you regulate fair at that point? That's a tough.
It's something we're actually coming up against more and more, right?
Yeah.
Now that also their tastes are different. So they want different things, or it is beyond even gifts. It's even sleepovers. 2 of our kids had sleepovers last weekend and one of them didn't. And they were really upset that they didn't get to have a sleepover. They felt that was unfair.
Noah got to have sleepovers.
But
like,
those sleepovers were birthday parties,
Right.
and I tried to explain that, baby, that they were at birthday parties, so they're with their friends, and it was just a conversation of trying to explain fairness.
And how did you do that? I'm curious about this.
Well, we've been having conversations about, like, when we come to sleepovers, we've been having conversations about sleepovers.
What we did a lot of too, what we've done is set age levels for things with the kids. So when when Journey comes up on something and he wants the same thing, it's like, well, Bodhi is 9, Noah's 11, you're only 7. So let's talk about what you want to do. Maybe when you're 9, like that, when you're Bodhi's age, that becomes more appropriate. It's kind of setting those appropriate levels, and it's hard, but then at the same time, I think it kind of gives them something to look forward to in a strange way.
Right. Mm-hmm. But the fairness thing, we're still working on, Randy.
Oh, fairness is tough, man. It is tough for sure.
Well, it's a work in progress.
Yeah. What do you do with your girls?
Yeah. What do you do?
So I think we're somewhat responsible also for the fairness, in that I remember so much of the time trying to instill fairness in them. Mm-hmm. Like, wait, let's be fair. She had this, right. So I've said this in a way that hopefully brings them together and works and teaches empathy and gets them to look at the fairness of a situation.
But it works against you.
Then they turned it on me.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, they're so smart. Yeah. They turn it on me.
Kids will do that.
This isn't fair. And at some point I thought,
and you're like, who said anything about fair? Like, you did.
Exactly. Well, you do all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, we're dealing with this. In the sleepover thing is something that's happening this weekend, and we're having to navigate that, right? And who gets more plans with friends? And what I have started saying is that it's not going to be fair. I've just gone the other way.
Right.
Okay. I've instilled fairness in you, but now you're not. Now you have to understand.
I know. I'm contradicting myself. Right. I'm being a bit contrarian here, but the thing is, now they're at the age, like, we've built the foundation. Maybe, I don't know if this is right, but maybe they can also see that things in life aren't going to be equal. Fairness is something, but equal is almost impossible. If you say, I want the same exact cookie size as the cookie size that they got, how are you going to compare that? You're eyeballing it. But if we really take the cookie and measure and start to look at crumbs, you're sitting there and picking crumbs and, sort of dividing them. So I think looking at it in a way of, it's not going to be fair. Let's stop keeping score and start to look at being happy for them. That's great that they get to go with their friends. And I'm feeling like I need more play dates, or I would like to play with my friends more. Then that's a conversation that we can handle, but I would like for them to come to us and talk about this, say what's going on for them, not just use it's not fair, because that goes into the same category as comparison. And we do that as adults. We're like, well, that's not fair. They're going on this vacation. That's not fair. They're making this amount of money.
Mm-hmm. That's so, it's Such a complicated thing, trying to find that line of when you start to, again, stranger danger is something that I love in Zane, right? And then sometimes you feel bad that you're like, oh, he won't give you a hug, I'm so sorry. But
Right.
I
Right.
yeah,
He doesn't even
we have,
want to acknowledge that you're in the room. Like he latches onto your shoulder and he's looking the other way.
yeah,
But it's not because you did anything wrong. It's like you're trying to explain those things to people sometimes.
the
It
fair
doesn't,
and equal
it's
thing
it's not cut and dry.
is a great conversation to have, because life isn't like what we think is fair, you know. And I think it's God, I'm learning it through this conversation, and as I am in parenthood now, in how to teach kids how to navigate the adult world, not set them up with these rules as kids that you make so absolute, and then they don't work when they're adults, and then you have to undo these things or undo these belief systems. How do you do that more smoothly? It's tough.
Can we put that on the Santa list?
Please.
Smoother transitions, please.
Yeah.
Right.
An instruction manual. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I know they say kids don't come with them, but Santa, if you could, that would be amazing.
You're writing it as you go. I mean, I guess the instruction manual is different for each family, and you all are writing it literally as you go, as you grow, as you realize, evolve, and change. You get to update the instruction manual that you have either had, or you're like, hey, wait, let's revisit this. This needs
You have to be flexible
Right.
with it. Yeah. You really have to be flexible with thoughts and rules and ways of dealing with things with kids, because they're constantly changing and they're constantly evolving, and you have to be in it, and you're kind of figuring it out on the fly, it seems. You know, things come up and you're like, oh God, that's a good question. Interesting.
Looking for a healthy, natural mood boost? Boost your health and happiness with Happy Saffron Plus by Brain MD, the 3-in-1 formula for a better you. Happy Saffron Plus was developed by Dr. Daniel Amen, a double board certified psychiatrist and world-renowned leader in brain and mental health. It contains a mix of the most potent saffron, curcumin, and zinc, 3 clinically studied ingredients proven to improve mood, help support your memory, and decrease stress. Happy Saffron Plus is changing lives. Join the thousands already experiencing a happier, healthier lifestyle. Get Happy Saffron Plus with a special offer at gethappytoday.com, where you'll find the lowest price available anywhere. That's gethappytoday.com. Happy Saffron Plus. Make your brain and body happy. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You know a spot, but not just a spot. The spot. Actually, with the 2023 Nissan Frontier, you know a bunch of them. But the key to these great spots? Being able to reach them in the first place. Your spot is out there. Find your Frontier in the 2023 Nissan Frontier with standard 310 horsepower, advanced tech, and 281 pound-feet of torque.
Hey, it's Kevin Hart. And this basketball season, Chase Freedom Unlimited is helping me cash back all my game tickets. Plus, tickets for 23 of my biggest fans to cheer me on while I enjoy the game.
Find your seats.
I appreciate the support, people.
Eat that pretzel.
This'll never get old.
Use more napkins.
Okay, this is starting to get old.
Say the tagline.
Cash back like a pro with Chase Freedom Unlimited. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
So I know I'm jumping around here, but I'm just looking at the laundry room and the cabinets, and I'm looking at Sharna's beautiful setup with. I just feel like you need a cup of cocoa or something there.
I have a sugar birch candle in my laundry room. Okay,
Is it helping it smell nice, baby?
it's very festive.
Yeah.
It feels very Christmassy in here.
Are you playing Christmas carols with that candle?
We have had Christmas carols in the house.
I actually just turned the speaker off. Yeah, I had Christmas music playing in here while I was painting.
Yeah. It's actually really nice. Like, I love having Christmas music playing in the house.
It's
Yeah,
kind of it's a fun thing. Like at the point in the year when you switch over to the holiday radio stations, you start going, oh, it changes the mood in the house. It raises the level of calm and of excitement, and it just changes the things around you. You have these old Christmas songs that you hear every single year. I think that's something to it also. They bring up that sense of, this is what the holidays mean to me. Oh, I hear these songs every single year. Like you see those colors every single year. You smell a Christmas tree every single year.
Mm-hmm.
They're those things that become sort of the regulars in your life, and you only get them one time a year. So it's exciting when you get to that point, to that time of year. The weather changes, the music changes, the colors change, the smells change. The
really nice.
ugly holiday sweaters all come out.
They all come out everywhere,
Oh,
right?
man, they come
I
out.
bought a couple for Zane, although they're not ugly. They're very cute.
The pumpkin, eggnog, gingerbread comes in.
All the things.
So the question is, are you going to have Christmas music at this holiday party that you guys are having, which I can't come to? Thank you for the invite. I'm bummed.
You should be bummed. I'm super disappointed that you're not going to be there.
Can I blame it on the airlines? Flights are sold out.
Flights are sold out. Fine. You can say that. Well,
Can't.
I'm really excited about the Christmas party, and we probably will have a little bit of Christmas music, but
buddy
a friend
of mine
of
is going
ours,
to DJ it.
Yeah. So we'll be doing like 90s hip hop and good vibes.
My buddy Tony Stewart, who is he's
Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart. You knew Tony back when I was doing clubs. He was DJing those clubs. So he's been a friend of mine since then, lifelong friend. And he every once in a while I'll do these like sort of little iterations of like dancing kind of things, or like a supper club.
Like a supper club thing, like get-togethers with good music and drinks.
An amazing restaurant. You have like 2 hours of sort of these cool kind of rare groove sort of beats while you're eating. And then he would come on with the dance music. So Sharna and I were talking a few weeks ago, and we were like, God, wouldn't it be great if like Tony could, DJ it? But we want to invite him, so we don't want him to come here and have to work. Right. So maybe we'll just get like a playlist or something from him, and then we'll play that on Sonos speakers. And randomly, Tony texted me like 4 days ago, and he was like, "Hey, so would you mind if I DJ'd your event?" I was like, "No."
Like,
there you go.
That's the craziest thing ever. Yeah, universe, bringing in what you asked for.
Wait, you just struck up a random thought that I'm going to insert here about the universe and how it's, Randy, you know how we talk about, and it was our very first episode, and you said the universe is always working in your favor.
Yeah.
Right. So the other day I was supposed to take Zane to swimming lessons, and we've got this Christmas party coming up.
This story.
Everyone's invited. Everything's organized. So I was supposed to take Zane to swimming lessons, and his Jeep was pulled out of the garage, and it was right behind my car. So I couldn't get out of my parking spot where I was to take Zane to swimming lessons. And at the time it was like, so frustrating, not mad about it, but and I'd randomly decided the day before to not go to swimming lessons for whatever reason. We canceled. Anyway, I couldn't move the Jeep out of the way because the starter or something on it isn't working, and I've fully forgotten how to drive stick. So that's also another thing. I find out a couple hours later that our swimming coach and her son have got COVID. And so thank God we didn't go, because even though we've had COVID before and didn't, it was barely a sniffle, we'd have to cancel the holiday party. Right. Because it would be only in a few days. I was like, thank you, universe. I texted like
so the day before she randomly canceled on her own.
Randomly.
This day she couldn't make it because my Jeep was blocking her in.
Yeah.
Thank God she wasn't there either day. She and our son would have been dealing with COVID. So
yeah, and
amazing.
Probably the rest of our family, because it's like when one gets it,
right.
It's like dominoes.
Yeah, amazing.
So I loved that. I wanted to bring that in. The universe is always working in your favor, even when it seems frustrating or like inconvenient. It actually is for a reason. But planning a holiday party is stressful, Randy. I've not done this before. I planned Brian's 50th birthday, but planning a holiday party, it's And for like such a big group of people,
Yeah.
it's stressful, and doing guest lists is
It gets in the way of the holiday a little bit. Like it's kind of I've like Sharna and I were talking earlier because we haven't decorated the tree. We have the tree up, but we haven't decorated it yet. And it's like,
there is
who
three
has
things
time
on
to
it.
decorate?
Three
Like we
things on
can't,
it.
we've got all this stuff to do. Like we'll it's only going to take us 45 minutes to decorate one day. So like we'll get to it. Let's continue doing the things we're doing, but it's hard because you kind of put off some of the things that you would normally do.
Yeah.
This is an appetizer. This isn't a amuse-bouche to the real party.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This is just training to get you to go, oh, this is what it's like planning a large party.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not planning a wedding. Is that what you're leaning towards?
I know you've
Absolutely
said that.
not.
Even
Hell
if
no,
you're not
I'm
planning
having a wedding planner.
But even if you're not planning the wedding, you're organizing, you're putting together, you're making 1,000 decisions, right?
Yeah. I think and it's me doing it this time. I don't have a party planner or anyone helping me with it, which I did have for Bry's birthday party. But
what are
I
you
was
trying
like,
to poo-poo on planning weddings, Randy?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not trying.
What's going on right
No,
now?
I think
I'm
it
just
takes
saying,
a very
in holiday spirit. This is not you. I'm
planning
questioning it's a bit bah humbug of you.
I think planning parties is like a very special set of skills. Like,
it is a special set. And I'm not being Scrooge here. The idea is that you said like it kind of gets in the way of Christmas. Yeah. And I think unfortunately sometimes the wedding party, the festivities get in the way of the meaning of the day and the specialness. So it's a delicate balance of how do you do this? How do you take on responsibility and details, but keep front and center the way that you actually want to spend the time leading up to it and the time of the event, because it quickly can get overshadowed.
Yeah, I haven't found that balance yet. I'm still working on it. It feels all consuming, not because I physically have to do so many things, but just like mentally. Going through different quotes because we're having a bar set up and a bartender come in. Casamigos is providing us with all the tequila, which is wonderful. But where I'm planning and setting up the bar this time, what food am I going to leave out because of, I don't want anyone working the kitchen. So what food works to just be placed all around our kitchen for people to snack on throughout the day? And then honestly, the mental stress of planning a guest list. How many people do I invite? Do I leave that person out? Is it wrong? Is it weird if I only invite these 3 people
we're
from that group?
continually adding to it also. Like we're on a daily basis going, oh my God, I can't, we forgot about something. So and so then on the list, and we'll send them an invite, and luckily there's still plenty of time for people to get it together. But party starting at 3 on Sunday. That's a very oldish thing.
Three.
Yeah,
totally. That's not oldish. I
3
don't know what
to 6:30.
Right. Yeah,
3 to 6:30. Be out.
Dinner time 5:30 every night. I don't understand why you wouldn't.
I mean, seriously.
It's also made me way more present to my obliviousness of responding to a guest list, like the RSVP, and how important that is for the person that's planning it. The amount of evites and invites and whatever I've been sent over the years by friends too, you know what I mean? By not just people that I don't have a connection with, truly people I have a connection with, and I've just not responded because it's like, oh, I'll get back to it, or I haven't found it important, or I'll just text them, in some other way. But truly that invite list that you do it through whatever service tells you how many people are coming, any extra things you need to get back to. And it's really helpful. And so it makes me think back on that, of all the invites, the Thanksgivings and the whatnot that I've just not responded to, and how shitty that is, because someone's like, how many plates am I organizing for this Thanksgiving? And then, or I've RSVP'd yes, and then something's come up on the day. Like I've been that dick too. You know what I mean? Where it just hasn't felt, and this is years ago, but it didn't seem so important to show up when saying yes. And now when planning a party, it's like, oh no, those things are really important. It's better to just RSVP with whatever your answer is. No, I'm sorry. Yes, I can. And then stick to it. Because it's hard. It's a lot.
It is.
Am I rambling for no reason? It's a lot.
It is a lot. And I think a lot of people listening can relate to this, especially around the holidays, the pressure The pressure of saying yes, the pressure of planning a dinner or a meal.
Totally. Yeah.
Who can eat what? The pressure of, sometimes there's the whole self-care thing that you hear where it's like, look, if you don't feel like going, don't pressure yourself to go. But there is an effect of that. I mean, it does, like you said, if it's your party and you're accounting for someone and then they say no, how that affects you. So it is a delicate balance of being respectful, but also there's a follow through. And I guess what I would say is, when do you follow through, and when is it okay to listen and to yourself and not follow through?
It's a great question. I think there's probably so many factors that go into the decision, right? Like, how is it if it's a wedding? Different. Like, that's like $100 a plate, right. That's different. Yeah. If it's a holiday party and there's no sit down meal, also different. I think you absolutely should listen to yourself and say, and message that person and say, I'm so sorry, I just need to take today for myself, or this has come up, and just be honest and say that you can't make it. Case by case basis, for sure. And unfortunate things happen sometimes on the days of weddings and you really can't be there. But that's a tough one. I've seen that with friends of mine at their weddings, and someone's just not shown up or on the day canceled. And that is a really disheartening thing for a person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so at your party, what are you looking forward to? What are you most excited about? So we got into the Scrooge part of it, but like, what's the excitement? This is new. You don't have a party every year. Why did you decide to do it this year?
I'm excited to see everybody. I think I've never really been much of a party throwing kind of guy at home. Like I threw a lot of clubs and things like that when I was younger, just because it was like, I would want to throw the place that I would want to go to. And I knew I could safely go to something I was throwing. I had full access to wherever I needed to get to. But Sharna has really brought in this fun aspect of like, hey, let's invite your friends and the people that you don't get to see very often, especially now that we're older and we all have so many things that we're responsible for. So I'm really excited about seeing the people that show up and watching. We have a really cool group of people that are coming. So I'm really excited to see everybody interact and have a good time. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there are a lot of parents coming that have kids. And so they are excited about coming and it being, it's an adults only party. So they're excited about like, oh yeah, let's go. There's going to be an open bar. Like there's going to be food around. Yeah. Tony's going to be DJing. It's just going to be kind of a fun, easygoing thing. And the reality is it starts at 3, but there's no hard out time. I mean, we plan on going until it's done. And if people sleep on the couch, then
we have childcare coming early the next day for Zane.
Oh yeah.
Like
for real.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Tired of endless diets and weight loss struggles? It's time to say goodbye to frustration and hello to results. Introducing Smart Metabolic Burn from Brain MD, your breakthrough solution to fight stubborn body fat. Imagine burning fat, balancing glucose levels, and regulating metabolism in just 12 weeks. This unique 2-in-1 product combines the power of 2 clinically studied ingredients in one revolutionary formula. Berberine, which targets abdominal fat, and OEA, which curbs your appetite. With just 2 capsules a day, Smart Metabolic Burn by Brain MD can kickstart your metabolism, fight stubborn body fat, especially that pesky abdominal fat, and support your weight management journey. And right now, save over 30% on Smart Metabolic Burn at GetSmartBurn.com. The lowest price anywhere. That's GetSmartBurn.com. Don't delay. Transform your life with Smart Metabolic Burn from Brain MD. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful VC turbo engine, well, we had time to see all the animals. Whoa! and outrun a few.
Drive the Nissan Rogue.
Kevin Hart here. This basketball season, Chase Freedom Unlimited is helping me cash back on everything, even the sound system that auto-tunes the game.
Curry from way downtown.
Defense!
Will the owner of a red sedan please visit guest services?
Bet you've never heard cash back and sound like that. Cash back like a pro with Chase Freedom Unlimited. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
I'm actually really excited to introduce, and this is a new thing for Bri as well, but games. So I love playing games at parties. And I think it's such a fun way for also people that may not know each other to get to know each other. Because there is that too. There's a big group of people that do know each other. And then there's, a sprinkle here and a sprinkle there of those that haven't met some of these people. So I think it's really a cool way to break the ice. I've been looking up at some of those videos that we're seeing from Thanksgiving parties where people are like blindfolded trying to put with spatulas and put things in a bowl.
You seen the one with the marshmallows where they have like a bowl and you've got to you're blindfolded and you have to use a spatula and try and scoop as many marshmallows into a bowl as you can. And there are people that are just scooping air. Like there's
because they're blindfolded.
Because you can't feel the marshmallow. It's so funny.
I saw one marshmallow one where everyone at the table had 2 red Solo cups, like on each hand, and they had to pick up marshmallows and put them on a plate, and literally no one was picking up marshmallows. I also have the game Code Names, which is a really great group game for everyone to play. It's super fun. Charades is great. Running charades is awesome. We have
Heads Up
in our backyard for Heads Up is fun. But if anyone, if you know of any, Randy, if you know of any good games, tell me, because I'm all about it for this party.
Okay, gosh, I don't. I would have to do some research, but you have to at least take some videos so I can see some of this. That sounds so fun. I think anything at a party where you can foster connection with people but do it in a way that's playful, it's a win, right?
I think so too. I'm really excited about it. We'll wait till everyone gets a little drunk.
That was the thing that I used to love about throwing clubs when I was young, was like that the music would do that. If you had the right kind of music and the right sort of thing, it brought everybody there together. Everybody had a great time together.
Yeah.
Everyone formed the Soul Train line. Remember?
We didn't do much of that. We had circles though. We would battle dance in circles. Yeah.
I mean, Brian, when we were growing up, Soul Train, I don't know if you watched it, but that was a huge show for me. I remember I hosted Soul Train. Did you really?
I did. Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
I hosted it, and T3 was on. They're Michael Jackson's
T3. I remember them. Yeah. They had
they were on
album.
Performing.
Amazing.
Was this after the release of your album? Was it like
it might have been it might have kind of been around the same time.
Interesting.
Sometime
but
around there.
People were pretty aware of the fact that I was into hip hop and I was into that culture. So I think it makes sense.
Okay. So you guys are going to have an adult party starting at 3. There is no end. Brian's saying if they're on the couch, if they're sleeping on the couch, they're on the couch. The kids are taken care of.
People have already called and said like, hey, I have dibs on the couch. Like it's a for real thing.
The parents that we know, our friends that are parents, are like, oh, it's an adult, because every party we've ever had is kids' parties, and our kids' parties are lit. Like we have Sunday parties throughout the summer with 100 kids here, not quite 100, but like 10 to 15 kids here. It's amazing. But we've never done an adults only one, and they're like, yes. So I'll be taking couch space, or I'll be Ubering, or whatever it is. Everyone is in.
Ooh, I can't wait till next episode till we record this and I get to check in with you and say, so how did you feel the next day?
Oh my God. I'll wait. Imagine if we were recording the next day. I predict a hangover at this point. I'm not aiming for one at all. But I feel like it's just going to be such a good time that
I get hangovers sometimes just after like a drink and a half or 2. Like I am such a lightweight at this point. It's terrible. If I drink a glass of wine, I'm done.
Bri has half a drink. He'll take Advil for precautions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I take
that is
Cautionary.
for sure an oldish thing, because back, you know, when you were like late teen, well, depending on when you started drinking, but teenage, late teenage 20s, like you would go and next day be like, okay, let's go eat breakfast.
Yeah, no,
For sure. Get me some bacon.
No, now
I'll
it's
be
like,
fine.
if I have a couple drinks, then before I go to bed, it's like I'll take a couple Tylenol or a couple Aleve or Advil or something, just to make sure that I don't wake up with a headache, because I can't stand it. I hate it.
Oh man.
Uh-huh.
So tell me, what kind of person are you in terms of parties? Because what cracks me up are the goodbyes. I think this is one of the funniest things, is watching people say goodbye, because sometimes it takes them so long. They have to make the rounds, then they have to make the second, the third, the fifth rounds.
Yeah. I think I've been all
That's
different
funny.
versions of that over life. I've tried to say goodbye to everyone. And then it's you know, you awkwardly say goodbye to some people twice
I've
because
pulled
they're
the
with
quick
other
out
people you
too,
say
like
goodbye.
you know, the okay, bye everyone, like, and you're gone. Like,
Yeah. And then I ended up becoming a Houdini. I was like, I'm just going to
just disappearing.
disappear. I'll say goodbye to the host for sure. Thank you for having
Right.
me. And then I'll Houdini it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
I'll say goodbye to a couple people that I was really excited to see.
Totally.
You
If
know,
you had
just
like
to
a
make sure that
connection.
the connection is there. But then, I have no problem dipping out and being like, I'm good. I'm done. You guys have a good time. Because most of the time, people aren't going to remember that you said bye to them anyway. And then text them the next day. If they're like, hey, I noticed that you left. It's like, oh yeah, I took off. I didn't want to bother anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but what if it's a smaller gathering? What if it's like 8 people, 10 people?
You can still say
just
goodbye
say
to the
whole
room.
group. Bye everyone. Peace out. I gotta get home. Yeah, like
we're leaving.
I have
See
no
ya.
issue with that.
Love you all. You guys have a good time. Be safe.
Yeah.
Really? Just goodbye.
Yeah. Bye. What about you, Randy? What are you?
I like to be the Houdini. Really, I actually, I'll tell you the truth.
You're a people pleaser. That doesn't work. The Houdini.
I'm a recovering people pleaser.
There we go. Yes.
There's a big
correction.
distinction.
Yes.
Big
this is
distinction. You're right.
I mean, this is still in process, right?
Yeah.
I'm catching myself all the time, step out of that. But yes, I mean, normally, back in the day, I used to just do, bye everyone. But then I got to where, okay, I want to be personable with everyone. I want to thank them. I want to thank the host. I want to say goodbye so they don't think something of me. That's really what it was. So it would take me a long time. Now I'm a huge fan of front loading. Like, I will literally tell someone when we make plans, I'm good for like 90 minutes. After 90 minutes, all bets are off.
Got it.
I might become overwhelmed. I might be completely done. I might be tired and have to go home.
You prep people for the possibility.
I prep people. I'm like, I am the most present person and I will be there for an hour or two.
Like,
and then
I'll be there
1,000%
for an hour.
Yeah.
You get all of me and then you get none.
And then I gotta go.
Yeah. And let me explain this for a moment. I do this because I do have a point. I love people. I love conversing with people. But I sort of, it's like when you have a conversation with someone and you're talking, but then you get to the point that you feel you want to go. Maybe you're in the market and you have a list, you have things to do, and then, someone's there and you're catching up, but inside you start to feel that, okay, dinner's waiting, I have to get home, the kids have to, you start to feel that pull.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's almost a disservice to stay there and stay longer, but be talking in your head going, oh, I really want to go. I really want to go. So I've tried to practice when I have hit my limit to really just go and listen to that. Otherwise I'm there, but I'm not wanting to be there. And that doesn't feel good.
I totally understand that.
I was very much the same way. Like, I used to get caught up in conversations with people and then I would feel guilty if I knew I had to go do things. So I would stay longer than I really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And I've really been trying over the past few years to make a point of talking, connecting with somebody, but then being very in the moment and saying, hey, so listen, I got to get going, but it was so good running into you and blah, blah, blah. And let's actually set up a time when we can sit down and we can catch up and do all that. to make sure that I get things done, because otherwise I get stuck in these conversations. I'll get into conversations with people for hours sometimes at restaurants. I didn't even know you had a dog. Look at that.
That is my dog.
There is making its debut appearance.
I was trying to mute, so I wouldn't get that.
Pascal was just in the background dreaming. I was like, what is that sound? And it was Pascal sleeping under the Christmas tree. He was dreaming, making all these little sounds.
Oh, by the way, I just saw that video of Pascal and Zane.
I know.
Kissing each other. Oh my gosh.
Isn't it unreal? It's
so
like
cute.
He gets excited to see me when I come in the mornings, but it's when the puppies come in that he gets really excited. And he'll like point and call them over. And even Daisy, who is sometimes not a nice girl, she will go up and lick his hands and give him kisses. And, you know, she just gives him all the love. And Zane is obsessed with the dogs. He's like, oh, hey, mum, and then plays with the dogs. But today we still have the baby gate in. So he went straight over to the gate because he knew that Pascal was there, up on his tiptoes, trying to call him over to it. And then they just started cuddling. I was like,
so cute.
What is that? This is amazing.
So cute. So is this Zane's second Christmas?
Second
yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah. A photo just came up on my phone yesterday, the way that iPhone suggests photos to you. And it was like 1 year ago today. And it was basically him in a Christmas outfit. And it was just crazy to me that that's a year ago. That I have photos of him from a year ago. I know he's 18 months now, but it was just wild. This is his second Christmas, and he gets it more now too. Like he loves ripping open presents and playing with toys. Whereas last Christmas he was 6 months old. It was
right.
What can you get him? A couple pacifiers, you know, what's he, you know,
right.
But, it's cool. It's really fun.
Yeah. You know how that is, Randy. It's like, it goes so fast the first few years. And then it kind of, I always try and remind Sharna when she's like, oh my God, it's flying by so fast. It's like, then it kind of gets to a point where it levels out a little bit and it's not quite so crazy, but from newborn to like 2.5, 3, so much changes and so much happens. They go from being newborns to being little kids with their own personalities and all of that. And you kind of you're finding the fun and you're finding the nuances and the things that they do. But yeah, it's so good. It's so good during the holidays. It's the best.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, priceless moments, right?
It's the best.
How many holidays have you both had together? How many Christmases?
This is our fourth. Right?
Yeah, this
fourth.
This is our fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So probably very different from the first one. What was your first Christmas together like?
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was really like, I mean, it's not like we did a whole family thing. Christmases for me over the years have been, they varied from being on my own or being with a group of people. Or, you know, I haven't lived in Australia for a long time. But that year it was, and I hadn't put up a tree in my house for a decade. Like it was all these things. And then I was with Bri and we went to
wait. I have to know, when you say it was all these things, there was so much in that. What were all the things that prevented you from putting up a tree or celebrating?
Touring, traveling, you know, it was always not because I emotionally didn't want to. I love Christmas. I've always loved Christmas. My childhood memories of Christmas are magical. But then I was touring for such a long time, for like 6 years, and then living in the States. Oh no, I did put up Christmas trees with an ex-boyfriend of, did we? I don't even actually think we put up Christmas trees. I have no memory of it, to be honest with you. It was just, we'd go somewhere for Christmas.
No memory before Brian. It's blocked out.
Nothing existed before him, really.
Right.
There was nothing before him. So I'm with Bri and we go, first of all, he introduces me to the greatest Christmas store of all time. And Christmas is my favorite holiday ever.
Which is what?
It's called Old Dick. And
it's called what?
I know, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, we're going to Old Dick. I was like,
Old Dick
Dick?
Home. It's on Sepulveda out here in Los Angeles.
Old Dick?
ALDIK.
Yeah, Old Dick Home. It's called.
Okay.
Old Dick.
And what they normally do is,
it's not 2 words, Randy. It's not all dicks.
they make and sell imitation like flowers and things to put in your home that last all year.
But like unreal ones that
during the holidays, they have a Christmas tree lot that is literally, it is the like 50 different versions of trees, different types of trees, but they're all fake.
Designed off real trees. Virginia
and then
fir
ornaments, and it's like going to Santa's house for Christmas every year. So I took her to that.
I walked in there. So this is still COVID time. We had to wait in a line to get in. I'm like, where's a Christmas store? What are we? And then once we got in there, it was like being in Santa's workshop. It was unbelievable. It's magical.
Yeah.
So we chose a tree together, and these trees are beautiful. And we took it back to his place, and we bought all of these decorations. Like, I don't know how many hundreds of dollars worth of, thousands of dollars worth of decorations, crazy stuff. And we decorated it together. And I was sitting there on the couch looking at this tree that we decorated together, knowing at this point that I was in love with this man, even though we weren't saying this to each other. And just really starting to feel this magic of Christmas again. It reminded me of being a kid, decorating a Christmas tree, something that I hadn't done in such a long time, and certainly hadn't done with people that I loved. And it made me emotional. And that was our first Christmas. And it's not like I spent it with the kids. That was like the beautiful moment, and then it felt really, really special, and it felt like the beginning of something. And thank God I was right. It was the beginning of something. And now Christmas is chaos. Now we can't even get to decorating the tree. Like, it's not decorated because it's such a moment for me. So he and I are trying to have that. It's not just rushing to get it together. I love our moment of decorating a tree. It resembles that first Christmas together for me. And we just have not had time because, kids,
you play
chaos.
The music, you go through the things. It's like,
have a glass of wine.
Yeah. You make it a special moment to me. You don't just throw decorations on. It's like, okay, we're going to spend the next 45 to an hour just pacing back and forth and looking at it and being together and hearing the Christmas music.
But now it's the middle of December and
right. Now there's 3 things on the tree. It needs a little coat of some sort. It's getting
5
cold.
things, first of all.
There might be 5 things. There's presents under there, though. We've taken care of that. Like, a lot of the kids' presents from us are under the tree.
We made a point this year of wrapping things as we got them, so we don't then spend the entire night before Christmas feverishly wrapping in the
Christmas
closet.
hack. Christmas hack alert.
Christmas hack. Yeah.
Yes. It's made such a huge difference. Like as we acquire things, you wrap it, put it under the tree. So then the kids start seeing these presents sort of amassing and growing, and it's building the excitement of it. And then for us, you don't have that stress the night before of like, oh, got to do all the stuff now that I haven't done.
Right.
Yes.
Which we normally do.
We've been doing that too. The only downside of that is what you said. Then my girls are like, 1, 2, 3.
Counting.
Is there anything new coming? Because I just see the same things that I've seen.
But there's also, we also, we make a point of letting the kids know and remember that there are Santa presents coming as well. So that, it evens out things sometimes.
Can I share with you a really cool Santa video that I saw that I want to, once Zane is a little older, and also the older kids are old enough to know more about Santa. It was this video where this mum started a new tradition, and the little kids are allowed to sneak downstairs and catch Santa putting presents under the tree. And they can't go over and speak to him, but they would just peek around the corner and see Santa putting presents under the tree. And I was like, that is amazing. Like that adding that magic every year, they get to sneak down and actually peep them, whether it's grandpa or dad or someone has a Santa suit on and they're putting presents under the tree.
Yeah, it was
you can't interact with him. You got to be quiet because it's part of the magic. And I thought that is such a beautiful thing. I can't wait. I want to do that. I want to put Brian in a Santa suit when we can, and he can put presents under the tree.
So, I mean, it's so magical and so special to have those memories and those moments of seeing that. And what flashed in my head was, and then at what point, because when kids are different ages, you can't do this, but at some point, is there a reveal? Is there like a hint of reveal?
To show that it's daddy instead?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't.
It's
I don't
a
know
good
how to have that
question.
conversation. I said
I don't
to Bri,
think that's a conversation that you have. I think kids sort of figure it out at school with their friends and all of that.
But it's still a conversation because they bring it home to you, don't they?
So I think our 11-year-old knows. I do. I think Noah.
Cash never came home ever and said to me, "Hey, so I don't believe in Santa anymore." like with friends. I think.
How did that go? What happened? When did you stop doing the Santa list?
I want to say when he was around like 13 or so. He just didn't.
Oh,
want
I was
to.
much younger than 13.
Were you?
Yeah. I'd have to ask mom, but I don't.
I think at that point I think you just like as a parent, like you are right now with Noah, you just instinctually know.
Right.
I think the important thing is to get the older kids on get in on the game plan of it, of
with
like,
the younger
listen,
kids.
the younger ones, this is still magic for them. So you can now be a part of making the magic of that experience.
Mm.
Tired of endless diets and weight loss struggles? It's time to say goodbye to frustration and hello to results. Introducing Smart Metabolic Burn from Brain MD, your breakthrough solution to fight stubborn body fat. Imagine burning fat, balancing glucose levels, and regulating metabolism in just 12 weeks. This unique 2-in-1 product combines the power of 2 clinically studied ingredients in one revolutionary formula. Berberine, which targets abdominal fat, and OEA, which curbs your appetite. With just 2 capsules a day, Smart Metabolic Burn by Brain MD can kickstart your metabolism, fight stubborn body fat, especially that pesky abdominal fat, and support your weight management journey. And right now, save over 30% on Smart Metabolic Burn at GetSmartBurn.com. The lowest price anywhere. That's GetSmartBurn.com. Don't delay. Transform your life with Smart Metabolic Burn from Brain MD. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful VC turbo engine, well, we had time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue.
Kevin Hart here. This basketball season, Chase Freedom Unlimited is helping me cash back on everything. Even the sound system that auto-tunes the game.
Curry from way downtown.
Defense!
Will the owner of a red sedan please visit guest services?
Bet you've never heard cash back and sound like that. Cash back like a pro with Chase Freedom Unlimited. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
When did you do it, Randy? Because your girls are older. How did you handle that?
I felt like I had no choice because they were hearing bits and pieces at school.
Right. Inevitable.
And look, I never wanted to make it about Santa. We worked really hard to set up traditions and really make it more almost pagan in a way by celebrating the light of the season in the darkness, right? The days are darker. So we are bringing light, we are bringing song, we're bringing ceremony and festival and tradition, and let's sit and be grateful. And instead of opening gifts, we would open 1 gift or 2 gifts, and the moment that they'd start to reach for another, like what's next, we would go have a little bite to eat, or we would go in our Christmas pajamas and suit up and go outside, whether it was raining or snowing or just cold, again, to make it more about the meaning and the specialness versus the gifts and Santa. But you can't escape it. It was wild to try and get out of the mainstream. We'd be walking on the street and people would go, "Oh, hi. So what did you get from Santa?"
Right.
And it was like, we can't really escape this. So we did end up doing the Santa thing. We tried to go light. And then it started coming in. They started hearing things from school and they were questioning. So a couple times they asked me, "Is Santa real?" But they would say it, and then I would somehow not answer and they wouldn't press me. So what that told me was
They weren't ready.
They weren't ready. They were thinking about it. It was living inside them, but they weren't ready to fully hear the answer. And then, and they were kind of young. I mean, I think it was like, I was still giving them a bath. So they were both in the bath. And one night, you know, my wife's downstairs, I'm giving them a bath and I'm pouring water on them. And they look at me big-eyed and they said, "Is Santa real? Tell us the truth."
Ooh.
And my heart starts beating fast because I wasn't prepared. And I just took a deep breath. And I sat and I looked at them and I knew this was the moment of truth. They're asking me. And I vowed I really don't ever consciously want to lie to them. So if they ask me, I don't want them to feel betrayed, right? I said, you know how we talk about fairies and gnomes and Santa? I said, this is all based on people who have existed. I said, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something like, the magic and the specialness of Christmas is in all of the things that we do. It's not in just Santa. And I said, Santa has helpers, and we have played the role of Santa because as parents, we love you so much that we want to create something really special for you. And so there's help. And I said it more eloquently, but it was a way where I felt that I could talk about it, but it was more about the parents' love for the children and why they do this versus here's this magical character that we've been propping up. That's a lie. That doesn't exist, because I do feel, I mean, I've talked to people over the years, clients and whatnot. Some people could care less. Some people were like, that moment that I found out that Santa wasn't real, it was really hard for me. It was like a moment of betrayal. So I wanted to make sure that it became more about the parents and the love for the parents than it was about like this guy with a beard.
I get that.
So it seemed to work.
That's a really good one.
I felt like they weren't that let down. Now they had a lot of questions.
Yeah, sure.
They were like the hooves or the hooves, however you say that, of the reindeer. Were those not reindeer? I was like, that was Uncle Tavy. He sat and he drew. So that's what was cool, is then when they started having questions and their mind was going, because the idea, and again, I'm not saying this is like the greatest way to do it, this is just what worked. The idea was, look at all the care and the consideration and the planning and the fun and the creativity that went into doing this for you to make this special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the approach.
Yeah, I think that's important to like really help kids connect with the magic of the holidays and Christmas, which is Santa, and the story of him is part of that magic. And it's like we as parents take on the job lovingly of wanting to keep that magic alive as long as possible, because it's fun. It's such a fun experience for kids of like, oh, did the elves move? And oh, I think I saw snow, and I think I heard something on the roof, and all those things. And it's like, man, as parents, you kind of get to be the puppeteers behind the scenes, like sort of making sure that the magic is there and it's intact. And you're constantly on your toes in this situation, because it's like things come up of like, you know, what's with all the Santas at the malls? Like there's a Santa at every mall. We went to 3 today. So how? And so then you're like, oh, well, those people just know Santa. And so they work and they represent him, and that, you know, but it's not actually him. So you're constantly like trying to keep the magic alive and keep the story going. It's explaining that concept of like, oh, it's done out of love. It's not that I'm just sitting and trying to lie to you to make something easier for me. It is just in creating this magic. This is part of this story, and this is what the parents are doing. But that's an amazing way, Randy.
Amazing way.
I love that.
And I think it's going to also help with keeping them excited to then keep the magic going for Zane. when that comes
Yes.
around, they get to be in on it and creating that magic for someone. I think they're going to love that when the time comes too.
Yeah, they'll have that care and the consideration of,
because
like,
the three
how
older
do we
ones,
make
they're
this?
all in school now. So unfortunately, I think they're all kind of going to figure it out pretty close together because they're with each other all the time.
Yeah.
Zane is young enough. There's a big enough age difference where I think that they'll really be on board with helping us create the magic for him, for Zane, and they'll make it really special.
Can we talk about the stress of elves, of the elf on the shelf?
Geez. Oh, I don't do the elf on the shelf. I haven't touched that one.
Randy.
I let that one fly right by.
It is the worst thing invented for parents. Like you forget to move the elves and you're like fucking freaking out.
Like there's not enough work as it is. Like I now have to think about every night when they fall asleep. Like
we'll be in bed, laying down, teeth brushed, whatever. And suddenly you're like, we didn't move the elves. You're like, you got to run down and move them. Then you got to think of something creative, like not just shifting the room. And then now, because we have a toddler running around, the stress when Zane has touched the elf. Now there's sprinkles of cinnamon all over the house because apparently cinnamon brings them back to life. Like it is just, these elves are the bane of my existence.
I've never hated cinnamon so much. Like
I've
been a fan of cinnamon up until now.
Now I'm really mad at cinnamon, and it's just too much. And I thought it was going to be really fun. I was so excited about it at the start of this, this season. And of course we got sent a massive box full of all the things. I was like, look at all the cute outfits and all the stuff we can do.
Elf on the Shelf. They sent us all the outfits and the backgrounds and the things and the signs and the chairs they can be sitting in the next day. And it's
really cute for like once.
Right.
And I saw on Instagram, it came up on my feed, one person and I sent this to Sharna. Someone that took a picture of, it was like chicken bones with an elf hat, and it said something like the elf was delicious, thanks for everything. And it was literally like the skeletal remains of an elf.
Yeah,
like
it was brutal.
Ketchup around it, whatever, on a plate, and just an elf hat. It was really.
Could you imagine how mortified the kids would be if you
scarring.
left that?
I think that you ate the elf.
Completely scarring.
That's just to bring it all home and then go, and Santa's not real. It was me who ate the elf.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Just a way to traumatize your kids.
Whoever it was that made that post on Instagram, bravo to you.
Bravo. Well done.
Oh, so well done.
Yeah.
I think one thing we should cover before we end today's episode is the pressure, right? You're talking about Elf on the Shelf and just the pressure of it all. And I think, we touched on this last time. People are feeling so much pressure around holiday season, holiday time to show up, to not show up, to get the right gift, financial pressure. Maybe there was something that was hard around the holiday times and they're feeling that. So I think, the word that comes up around holidays is boundaries. Like, how can you set proper boundaries for yourself so that this holiday season can be more enjoyable for you? It doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be the most wonderful, because that's a high expectation to set. But how can you make this the best that it can be for you this year? Brian, Sharna, go. We can all sort of add to the pot here.
How do you add boundaries? I don't even know if I've figured that out. I think deciding how much of yourself you have to give to other people, how much time you have to give, when it comes to RSVPing to things, or, just being there for other people. There's just so much going on. So I think taking stock of what your December is, what you have to get done, prioritize what means the most, and then see what time you do have left where you can maybe go to a party here or do extra things there. But I think taking stock of your time and putting up boundaries with your time is really, really important, because I feel we can run ourselves ragged in December, especially. Yeah, I would say especially as parents, because I haven't known tired like before this. Mm-hmm. Now I understand what parents have been talking about. So managing your time, I think, is a really good one, a really important one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Brian?
I think it's good to just give yourself room to be human within all of it. You want to do everything, but at the end of the day, you're a human being, and you get tired, and there just things come up, and giving yourself a little grace, understanding that it's okay that you couldn't do everything that you thought of doing, and what you did is enough.
Yes.
Randy?
Yeah, Randy, finish it out.
Well, I think the holidays are usually a time that is ripe with conversations and, old family conversations where it's like, I know that so-and-so is going to end up talking about this and it's going to ruffle some feathers.
Totally.
And, while you can't stop people from doing what they're going to do, when it comes to you, you have full agency to say, tonight, I don't want any comments to be made about my food habits or about my weight,
Political
or about
beliefs.
political beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Like if there are no-go zones for you, it is completely okay to say, tonight, that's a no-fly zone.
Yeah.
What tonight is for me is connecting with all of you and being here and enjoying that. And if we go there, it's not going to be enjoyable. And that's really important, because a lot of times what I hear from people after is, well, so and so said this and I felt crushed, and it just made me feel so bad about myself, or the same thing happened that always happens. So I think it's okay to set up these boundaries, because it also helps people to not go into those places, because it probably ends up not being enjoyable for a lot of people.
So the same way that people say, leave your shoes at the door. We don't want shoes in our house. It's like you kind of have your list of things ahead of time. So it's like, hey, let's just make this a fun thing. Let's not bring up any of this stuff. Let's not have any political discussions. Let's not have any of those things. Let's make this as enjoyable an experience as possible.
Yes, especially we talked about front loading, especially if you say that ahead of time, because there's no energy on it. Everyone is more neutral. When someone starts talking about a subject,
and then you stand up in the middle of it and you're like, hey, can we not talk about this right now?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's my house and I'm talking about anything.
Well,
that
we're
I
in
want.
this now, and everybody's already got, like, they're heated because of the discussion, and there are, emotions involved and all of that. If you cut that tree down before people even get to it, then they never get to it. It's a good
exactly.
I have a question for you on boundaries with like if you go to parties with your kids, because your kids don't really eat sugar, right? And I mean, the holiday food it's not really diet aligned with anything. So how do you navigate that, both like for yourself in your choices, but also for your kids who are probably more like, but why can't I eat the cake? Or 2 pieces.
That's a good question. So for me, it's much easier for me, because the way I eat is just the way I eat, right? So I could choose to say, oh, I'm going to have a little bit of that if I want, but normally I don't. That's just how I do it. For the kids, it's hard, because when they see everyone doing it, they want to be included. And as they get older, it's not as easy to say, well, we just don't do that. So we are navigating, and it, like you said, it's a case by case basis. Sometimes, so they have a little bit of that, fine. Or I'll say, you know what, we're not going to do that here, but we're going to have this thing that I baked later. So let's just wait for that. And it's really hard to say no in those moments when they're like, I just want the ice cream. I just want that pie. And if for us it's a no, that can be difficult, but you have to know going in. Again, walk in being clear, knowing, because if you tell the kids ahead of time, it's like the playground. Kids don't want to leave a playground ever. Right.
Unless you say, like, hey, we only have a half an hour. So
exactly. So if you say, hey, we're going to play here for 30 minutes, we're going to have a great time. And at 30 minutes, that's all the time we have. When I ask you to go, we are going to leave, because that's all the time we have. Don't ask for more time, because I can't stretch it out. That is our time limit. They know going in, when you say it's time to go, it's time to go. So it's less hard to navigate it if you
do the same thing with diet.
Same thing with diet and food.
On that note,
happy
holidays, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. This has been fun. Just love the people around you. This is a great time of year to do that. Tell the people around you how much you love them. Laugh, smile, share amazing stories. That's what we're going to do. And then we'll be back next week to share more stories and follow up on some things that we've discussed. Yeah.
Yes.
And give you a little bit of an update on Oldish, sort of an update for the new year.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we have coming down the pipeline for you.
Yeah, that we've been talking about. Very exciting stuff.
Coming soon. So thank you everyone for listening. Have a good week.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yes, you guys are amazing. Make sure you guys go and follow us on Instagram at oldishpod. And you can also go and leave us a message at our own hotline, which is 855-OLDISH-3.
Make sure and write us a review. Leave us 5 stars if you loved it. Leave us 5 stars if you didn't.
We love 5 stars. We love 5 stars.
Yeah. We like 5 stars.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next week, everyone.
For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living has been dedicated to creating an award-winning company culture so residents and families receive best-in-class services. Across our 50 communities, Brightview associates help deliver peace of mind, safety, security, transportation, daily programs, delicious food, and high-quality care if needed. Discover how our vibrant senior living communities can help you live your best life. Visit brightviewseniorliving.com to learn more. Equal housing opportunity.
Does money stress you out? Let Facet flip your financial chaos into clarity.
Finding Facet immediately put us at ease.
Facet's innovative approach to financial planning ensures your money works as hard as you do, enabling members to experience the joys of having your finances in order.
And that makes us Facet for life now, I guess.
Visit Facet.com, FACET.com to learn more. This ad is sponsored by Facet. Facet Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice. These testimonials are from current Facet members who are not compensated. All opinions are their own and not a guarantee of a similar outcome.
Looking for a healthy, natural mood boost? Boost your health and happiness with Happy Saffron Plus by Brain MD, the 3-in-1 formula for a better you. Happy Saffron Plus was developed by Dr. Daniel Amen, a double board-certified psychiatrist and world-renowned leader in brain and mental health. It contains a mix of the most potent saffron, curcumin, and zinc, 3 clinically studied ingredients proven to improve mood, help support your memory, and decrease stress. Happy Saffron Plus is changing lives. Join the thousands already experiencing a happier, healthier lifestyle. Get Happy Saffron Plus with a special offer at gethappytoday.com, where you'll find the lowest price available anywhere. That's gethappytoday.com. Happy Saffron Plus. Make your brain and body happy. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.